Welcome to the Entrepreneur Podcast, a guide to fast casual fortunes with Brandon Haught, your co-host, and Joe Collin.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, you know I'm fired up about this
You're
episode.
fired up. I'm going to kind of go off camera this whole episode. I'm going to be over here sipping on my beverage and just let you go because, look, not just for food trucks. If somebody randomly falls onto this and they're selling whatever online, it's funny that I'm getting so off tangent.
Yeah, it's cool.
We posted today. We're launching our sauce. We're working on a label for it. And we put on our...
Actually, nobody knows that.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that's all right, man. Hey,
here it is.
These are followers.
Okay. Wow. We put on our Facebook. No, you just tagged me. Hey, we need a graphic designer.
And this is a personal page, on our personal page.
Yeah, we had 45 messages, each of us instantly. Hey, I'm a graphic designer, blah, blah, blah.
From all over the country.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. So what I just asked one, like, hey, what happened? Like, why did you message us? You're in California. But when Brandon said graphic designer, they pay to be tagged in those posts. So there's a lot of different angles with social media that can help us out. And I'm going to let Brandon run with it. Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, that actually blew my mind, though.
It was weird.
Yeah.
As much as we've really dove into this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Brandon, I have 10 messages.
Yeah.
He's like, I do too.
I know.
I'm like, wow.
No mutual friends, nothing. Like all over the country.
Yeah.
So.
And they were very personal. It was really good. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I still got a lot to learn. Like, I got some buddies, you guys know, in the entrepreneur group. They're starting to monetize off of Reels. I haven't dug that deep. It takes a big commitment. Like, you're literally having to post every day. Reels going live. It's all about viewership.
So, we're missing the ball on that.
Yeah, I mean, we are. I'm not going to tell you though that I have a solution to make money off of this because I don't know how to make money off of the monetization of Reels. Like,
there's an opportunity there, though.
There is an opportunity. We got we got a good following. We're just about 30,000 between Facebook and we just crossed 1,000 mark.
Do you want to
TikTok.
dive into our spend?
So, I mean, if you want to share that, I mean, I think last year we shared about we spent about $12,000 a month.
Yeah, it's
just on Facebook.
It's significant. But if you think about a business, I mean, that actually is a very small percentage at the end of the day. But what we gained from it was huge.
100%. Like I said, and I said in the last episode, I saw a 30% increase in sales.
Yeah.
Per location. And that's
when you're talking,
that's minor,
we operate kind of, I think, differently than most food trucks. We're going out 5 days a week,
6 days a week, two different locations. Yeah.
Kind of just random spots. And we're spending, how much do we spend a location?
$30 to $50. I'm averaging about $250 a week right now.
Okay. Yeah. So,
and that goes up and down based on our season.
Sure.
You know what I mean? More in the winter, because you're struggling for people to come outside and 15-degree weather, but we do it.
Today was sideways snow, and we had a good day.
We had a really good day.
My mind. But give them the juicy stuff. Let's go.
All right, guys. So
stop holding out.
I know. And I've actually only told one person this tip. So and it has worked, and it works for me because I don't want to give everything away, but I'm going to give it to you guys.
Give it.
Okay. So what I've learned through Instagram and Facebook, it's all about building a group, right? A group of followers that are loyal to your brand, and that are loyal to their communities. And so this is how you do it, guys. So you find somebody in the community, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, and you have them share your stuff. So what I do, this is it. You might have to write this down. So for example, if I'm going to be in Mount Pleasant, it just can get complicated, but it's not really. If I'm going to be in Mount Pleasant, I go into Instagram and I type in, Central Michigan University, or I type in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and then I hit search. Okay. And then I go to the tags, and then I go to most recent or the most popular. And then once I click on the most popular, it'll show me all the posts in that area that have that tag with a ton of engagement. And then I find the people that are consistently having the most engagement with those hashtags, and then I reach out to them.
Is it just happenstance that they're always beautiful women?
I know. I don't know. That's the hard thing. People are like, is this all you follow? I'm like, well, that's who.
That's marketing.
That's marketing, And so, you find those people, and it's reverse searching. It's reverse hashtag.
Okay,
it's reverse hashtag searching. And then so I reach out to these influencers, and I usually 3,000 to 5,000 followers is what I reach out to. I do have some influencers that are up to 100,000, and I just say, hey, I love your profile. I'd love to give you some free food. Would you be willing to share a post to your story? A lot of these people are building their own brand if you get up into the influencer level.
Yeah, it's smart.
So they don't want to put it though. They don't want to put it on their posts, but they'll put it on their story that usually expires within 24 hours. And I tell you, it works 70% of the time.
It really does. And we have a brand ambassador now. She's great. And when we were first talking about, I'm like, what's the point in this? Like, we're a small company. We're very local. But I've seen the results of it.
Yeah.
You know, her posts out there, and people, it's all about eyeballs at the end of the day. So
it is.
That's very creative, and don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah, so I do that in multiple locations, especially if it's a new area to me, and I have no following there. I will reverse hashtag it and see who does have a following in that area, and then I'll reach out to them. And what does it cost me? A meal. And who knows how many people they bring in. And, in the beginning, I was asking people to send me because you can see the insights on your stories, and they were getting thousands of views, you know what I mean, from sharing it. And then I'll reshare it, and we kind of piggyback off each other. But that's how I grew Instagram pretty much organically. We spent most of our marketing dollars in Facebook, and I'm starting to spend a little more on Instagram because I actually get way more organic engagement. But honestly, that's number one.
You're not going to get that organic engagement though without a base.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you might have to pay for that a little bit up front and do a little bit of a deeper dive that you're talking about. But I promise you guys, I have seen it firsthand, the results of it.
Yeah.
Like I said in the last episode, we could show you analytics to show we didn't advertise this week. We gave it a shot because Joe was going, why are we spending this much money? And,
yeah, I remember that. I remember that conversation.
And see the results, go, why aren't we spending this money on advertising?
Yeah.
So pretty quickly going, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So it does work. And if you think about yourself, if I have a free minute at work, I'm hopping into Facebook Reels. I'm going through there. And when you see a local post, it draws your interest.
It does.
It really does. So, and for most of us, especially us big boys, you see food, you're probably watching. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So understand the psychology of it and realize that people are spending most of their time on their phone. When they see something engaging or interesting, they're probably going to look into it a little bit further. And with as much branding as we have, there's a plenty of opportunity for them to go, it's Nom Nom Ninja. I can easily look them up.
Yeah.
So understand that when you're doing it too. Don't, your name, your branding does matter. You want to make it easy for these people to find you, and it all kind of comes full circle.
Yeah. So. And a part of it, I mean, a big part of it is consistency. You do have to be consistently posting. Like, we don't even actually do it enough. Like, we
Probably
post
not.
like probably 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah. Back to Gary Vee, he talks about 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. And so really, it's really trying to find a brand and I'm trying to figure out what people want to see. That's the hard part, is that, I don't want to oversaturate it. And mainly I post our schedule and pictures of our food and things like that. But, there's a fine line. And like I said, we're probably not utilizing it to the extreme, but this is where I found success. So it is almost a full-time job though.
It's funny. Yeah. Again, imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Yeah.
And we have seen very similar posts to our schedules.
Yeah.
And that's
because
cool.
That matters. So how I set up my post is another reason, the way we do it. And I've done, I'm a guy that will try everything, even if I mess up. And we talked about that. And how we post is strategic, like emojis in the top, like little pictures, little emojis, little like sirens. And then you break things down. So I learned it from LinkedIn that, people are more apt to read it if like there's spacing. So if you got a huge long paragraph, people just stop.
They're checked out.
Yeah. But if you space out your post, so say like, you give them a good headline, and then you say, our schedule, and then you post that schedule, and then you break that up a little bit, and then you give them another good piece of information.
Yeah. So when you do that, are you tossing in like a food picture?
Yeah.
What else? A food picture?
So yeah. So what else I've tried is I tried, videos. I've also tried multiple pictures, and what has the natural engagement is single pictures.
Okay.
High quality single pictures, and then give them something like a headline, and then give them a schedule. But then I break in like, hey, book us. Book us again.
Yeah.
So it's a call. You know what I mean?
Your call to action.
Yeah. So do that call to action as well. And that's where I found the most. I've tried everything. So maybe you guys have tried something different. I'd love to hear that too. But if you look at our posts and see our engagements, I mean, we have on average, I think most of our stuff has 200 likes. I've seen some 300, 500 likes. And that's based on how we structure our posts.
Yeah.
So.
And I can only go off what I see, and what I see is in our inbox and Messenger, there are a lot of people saying, "Hey, we would love to have you here for this event," and we kind of made a strategic adjustment, I think last year, to try to target businesses
Yeah.
and to try to target, you know, corporate events, and we see the results of that now. We have,
Yeah.
it's kind of almost daily now where someone's like, "Hey, we want you for this event," and that might take time.
Yeah.
It might not be immediate gratification, but that is going to pay huge dividends when you're down the road.
Yeah.
If you have a Thursday or a Wednesday that, usually not much going on, but you have a catering for 100 people at a plant,
Yeah.
and that's prepaid. That's
100%.
huge. And I've seen it from the marketing,
Yeah.
from the advertising. So yeah, this is probably, I would say, actually the most important part of this business.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm going back to something that we kind of touched on in one of our last episodes of the events is, we work with coffee shops and things like that, but I look for popular businesses and I look at their social medias and I say, if I'm going to be at this social media, do we have something that can mutually benefit each other in marketing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, whenever I know this is basic, but maybe some of you guys, I've seen some posts that don't do it. You tag the business you're at. So use these social media and tag the businesses you're at, and then have them share it.
Well, that's what I would say.
A
really smart move. We talked about a coffee shop we work with a lot. They did a little video with us the last time we were there and tagged us in it.
Yeah,
brilliant move on their end.
100%.
Yeah, you instantly are hitting 19,000 people.
Yep.
Yeah. So use that too. Yeah. If they have a large social media following and you're some kind of partnership with them, utilize it.
Yeah. 100%.
Well.
So utilize their following, where they can utilize yours as well. And then hashtags, guys. I mean, I know that's so basic and we've been probably, been hearing about it for years, but hashtagging is popular and it's becoming more popular. You can hashtag locations. People follow hashtags now. And so I noticed that when we put in certain hashtags, we get a whole new market of viewers. You know what I mean? So, so hashtags are important. Tagging the people you're working with, make sure the people you work with have a following. I mean, that's a good gauge. And then when it comes to influencers, make sure they're in your community. And the way that I do that is, like I said, the reverse hashtag search, and then it doesn't cost you anything. So like last episode, we talked about boosting posts. That costs you money. All this is costing you is food. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's the perfect opportunity.
Or swag, or
yeah. We've done T-shirts and things like that. And then we're just getting into TikTok, and TikTok is a whole new animal, a whole new beast to me. But at first they weren't allowing me to target. They were just doing United, like in the country. I could advertise to the country, but really it's all about micro marketing.
Yeah. You have to do your demographic, your geographic. It doesn't do any good to advertise to Florida. You're not going down there. So that I didn't know that about TikTok. That is, do they that you
now they do? Okay, so you can pay to do it now.
That
you can pay to
boost.
Sense. Yeah, now you can pay to boost.
And again, you think, okay, that spend does make a lot of sense, but it does. I mean, I can think of right now a food truck that's in our area that has phenomenal food.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. They do zero social media, maybe a little bit, and they really don't leave our area.
Yeah.
But if I really do think if you were their marketing manager, that would be unable to satisfy their demand.
Yeah, 100%, because their product.
Yeah. So it matters so much.
Well, I just literally had a guy reach out to me 2 days ago, and he said, "Hey man, do you know anybody that could come work for me and book events for me? I'll pay them $15 to $20 an hour. Work them 24 hours a week. I need them to book events. I need them to find events, catering, things like that." And I said, I could probably find you somebody like that, but why wouldn't you take that money and invest in your brand and invest in advertising? Take that same amount of money and that you were going to spend on an employee and build your brand, and people will reach out to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the way you got to think. Stop investing in other things that don't build your brand. Every dollar that you should spend should be putting eyes on your company.
Yeah. And these things, we talked about this earlier, it takes time.
Yeah.
Like you want that instant gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're doing this, the right practices over time, you'll get the results. And we're bearing the fruit of it now, but it's taken we're 3 years into this full time. Yeah. And, maybe not where we dreamed of being at this point, but we're heading in that direction.
Yeah.
And I think we have the foundation. So be patient, but do not forget about this aspect of the business.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what we talked about in the last episode. There's the marketing, there's the branding, and there's the building of the relationships. But you can't build those relationships if you're not getting your those eyeballs on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, that's why I think you should listen to, like, I had a guy come out and say, hey man, I tried to listen to one episode, but I listened to them all. You know, there's a lot of good stuff in every episode. And, you know, part of that was finding events, you know, is being on Facebook, being engaged, being on social media, joining groups, but really responding, you know, to everybody that you can. And even if you don't have the intentions of doing that event, just put your name out there.
Yeah. You know what's ironic about that is a couple days before, I'm assuming you listened to our episodes, he put out there kind of about marketing and everything. And we were both like, oh, he's looking at the wrong.
Yeah.
He's got kind of the wrong tweak on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully he kind of gets the tidbit on who he is here and understands, but he's on the right path, man. He's gonna knock it out of the park. But
yeah.
And he probably before us understood that.
Yeah.
He's on that way before us. We were 2 years before he even tried that. But,
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, guys, I got more that we can dive into, but we really want to keep around that 15-minute mark. I just say, follow us on this journey. We want you to be part of it. We're going to give out all this information we can and what we found success in. And I believe you guys could do it too. You know what I
mean? It's not a miracle.
No.
There's a easy path to follow.
Very easy.
You know, good food's, you know, the basis of it, but there's other little pieces that go along the way. So we're going to kind of expand this, I think, in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to start doing interviews with some other food truckers
that have been successful in specific niches that will help you guys grow. That's something we want to do. We're going to give you guys our story because, to be honest with you, it took a lot of failures to get here. And we want you guys to be part of it. We want you to hear that too, because that's important. Because the people you see right now aren't the people that we were, you know, 10 years ago, 8 years ago. Like I would have gave up on this business right now, year 1, year 2, when I wasn't seeing the results. And then we didn't explode till year 3 or 4. And so, you know, it'd have been too soon. And so those are the things that you're going to be able to see on this journey. And I just want you guys to be able to, you know, relate to that. Because,
we've talked about it a lot of times. It's not easy.
Yeah.
No business is easy.
Yeah.
It's patience, consistency, and a goal. This has been our problem a long time. Laser focus on one mission and a goal. So
100%. Yep. So guys, join us. We reached that mark. You know, feel free to reach out to us for anything. Join our group, the Entrepreneur Group. I also got a page you can follow, the Entrepreneur page. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and on YouTube. And, you know, we love what we do, guys, and we just want to share it
I've
with
been
you.
loving this experience.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been something totally new to us, and there's hiccups, and like we said from the beginning, there's gaffes, mistakes. We don't have outlines, guys. This is just coming off the top of our heads because we love it. So be part of our journey, guys.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
See you. Do you want to do another one?
Dude,
these are coming so easy.